Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Hairymuppet. Welcome back to another episode of Factorio Space Age. So, I'm actually, should I take off my jacket? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure, to be honest, what I should be doing. But anyway, so I'm going to be honest, there's nothing really going on in this episode. Aquilo, we have not landed there. We've not built anything on there. So, there's nothing to talk about there. This is mainly just a little bit of a update video since the video I updated yesterday. So yeah, basically last time we got to Aquilo and our ship was dead meat. So we've upgraded the ship a fair bit. It's mainly tweaking it, but we have upgraded a few bits. As you can see, we've got twice as many rocket turrets at the start, at the front. So we got 7 on each side instead of just the 4 we had before. Or 3, I can't remember how many we had before. I think it was just 4, now we got 7. And you will notice we're using different rockets. We're using the basic yellow rockets. So yesterday I mistakenly assumed that the red rockets were better than the yellow rockets. But that is not the case. For the ammo, it's just a straight upgrade for the damage. For the rockets, not so much. The explosive rocket, it does about 250 damage. And then 500 damage in an area of effect. So approximately 250 and then approximately 500. The normal rocket does over 1,000, but it doesn't have any area of effect damage. So the normal rocket actually does more damage to a single target. And the big rocket does more damage to a group of targets, which I completely didn't realize last time. So what we've done, and you'll notice the cost as well. Like this takes 1 explosive and some iron plate. This one takes the same older rocket, but also 2 more explosives. So you're looking at arguably, it's less damage for a single target, but it takes 3 explosives to build it instead of just 1. So this is only worth it if you've got, when you've got about 2 targets, it's approximately equivalent between them. If you've got 3 or more targets, then the explosive rocket is the better option. But a lot of the asteroids are singles. Some, like worst case, there's 3 of them, but mostly it's just single, and every now and then you get a double. So the yellow rockets make way more sense. So I removed a lot of things over. I moved the explosives and the coal synthesis over here so I could do a lot more of them. And then I've got 7 assemblies just for the single rocket, as opposed to the 4 and 2 set that I had before. So we're producing tons of yellow rockets and sending them all over the ship. You can see we've still got some red rockets that I had stockpiled before, but eventually, in a very long time, they'll get worn out. So yeah, they'll get run down. I also refactored the smelting setups. I realized that I had the ratios completely wrong. I had 1-to-1 between the molten copper and the actual copper plate machines. And I realized that it's actually completely different. So this guy produces 500 molten copper every 32 seconds, which I could get the calculator out and do the math for it, but it's basically this takes 32 seconds crafting time. This takes 3.2 seconds crafting time. So every 32 seconds this needs 200 molten copper, and this one produces 500 molten copper every 32 seconds, and that goes up to 750 when you count the production module, so when the production bonus. So this technically does 750. So we could almost fit 4 of these in. Almost. We could supply 3 of them, and then the 4th one we could supply 3/4 of it. So I just went in, I just did 3. So this one as well, we got a single molten iron that hooks into 3 machines, and then we got another molten iron machine that goes into 3 machines. I may actually have got this a little bit messed up because, well, let's see. It does 750. This one takes 20 every 3.2. This one takes 30 every 3.2. So we're producing 750. This one needs 600, so it's under. This one needs 700. No, it actually needs 900, so it's over. So what we can actually do is we can get rid of that. We just have 2 machines, and then those 2 machines will be using the 600. Technically, we could have an extra one, but we really don't need it. We really don't. I don't need to get full throughput, especially when it's going to cost me another one of these machines, which, even with efficiency modules, still uses up half a megawatt. And yeah, when you get to Aquilo, you've basically got about 10 megawatts of power available. We're around Gleber. I think we're around Gleber at the moment, so we've got 25 megawatts. This drops down to about 10 megawatts when we get to Aquilo. It's not fun. So, yeah. Not much else over here. I swapped these over to efficiency modules, got rid of the beacons because of power concerns. They're still pretty slow, but it doesn't really matter if these are backed up too much. They have evened out on this ship, so that's fine. I also, since I got rid of the explosive stuff over here, I expanded this. This is about the same. I've now got 6 machines for each of the different fluid types. Because that was taking a little while to build the fluids, the thruster fuel and the thrust oxide with only 2 machines. So I boosted up to 6, and it is beautiful now. Also did a little bit of a tweaking on this recipe. So right now we take however many oxide is in the system, we add 2000 to it, and then the fuel machines will run if they're less than that new signal. Which means if they're approximately the same, all the machines will run. But if you've got like more than 2000 more oxide than fuel, then the oxide will stop producing. If that makes sense. Like if this is 20,000 and this is 25,000, this one will say, okay, the red signal will be 22,000 and it's going to disable this because you just got way too much oxidizer in the system. Yeah. And that's pretty much it. Still got the same amount of engines. I put some rocket turrets around the back and the side, because when you get to Aquilo, there's going to be little coasting asteroids, but there's going to be big coasting asteroids, so you need rockets to deal with them. So that's where I got couple of rocket turrets around the side, but fairly spaced out because they got such a huge range. It's mainly for the front. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the ship. Not much else has changed. I have a feeling that we're going to need rockets and a railgun when we go out to the solar system. So I'm probably going to have to design a 3rd ship. I thought this was going to be my endgame ship. I think we're going to have to expand it. I like this side of it, the right side of it. So maybe I'll just stretch it out a little bit. Give me a little bit more room, because all we need is steel, copper, and explosives for the railgun ammo. Where's my railgun? So yeah, we just need to stretch it out, have a bit more space. Potentially when we go to the fusion reactors, we can free up a lot more space here, but the belt logistics is going to be a little bit painful to make that work, but whatever. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go from Gleber to Aquilo, and I'm going to show you this thing in action because it is pretty sweet. Now, right now, you'll see in a second, but for the big asteroids, right now it takes 3 rockets to shoot them. Because it's 200 plus 860, these have 2,000 health, but there is a resistance of 10% to explosion. So, and you can see, after 2 rockets hit set, the health is extremely low. So, I need another level of this stronger explosives. It actually, on our first run through to Aquilo in last video, you will have noticed it took like 6 rockets per asteroid. Now it's barely 3, and that's because we have been pumping up stronger explosives, this research, so much. Yeah, science per minute 172. I don't understand that. It should be 120, but maybe because we got prod modules in the labs. But yeah, so it used to be 6, now it's barely 3. Once we get this done, it'll be 2. And that'll be the sweet spot. I won't go for 1 rocket per asteroid because that'll be pretty much impossible. But yeah, as you can see, it still takes a while to get there, but we're not running out of fuel. We're down to 19k, but we're producing full speed. So it's going to slowly drain, but it was draining like crazy before. You get halfway to Aquilo, and then you'd be out of fuel. It's draining a lot slower now. So yeah, once we get this up, it's going to be 2 rockets per big asteroid. And I do have these guys filtered, so they only shoot the big asteroids and ignore the little ones. And then the little ones just get destroyed by our gun turrets, which are still using the red ammo. Uranium ammo, no need. Completely unnecessary for this thing. And as you can see, it does take a long time to get there. And we're going 228 kilometers a second. So could we... I don't think we could really increase the time that much. We could try and squeeze more engines on. I mean, we could space these out a little bit and then put extra engines in between. But then fueling the engines would be a massive pain because you can only fuel them from the side. So we'd have to do some sort of incredible mess that I don't know. But anyway, as you can see, we've got so many yellow rockets stacked up. It's not even funny. We're producing a ton more than we were the red rocket. So running out of rockets is not a concern. The red ammo, not a concern. Yeah, because this guy definitely produces more than enough asteroids. And we got productivity plus 20%, but I definitely want to build that up in the future a lot more. Yeah. Because that'd be good to get it up, because then it just... I mean, right now it's backing up, so the productivity probably wouldn't matter that much, but it'll be nice because it means it refuels and rearms itself while it's sitting idle a lot quicker, because when it's sitting idle, you don't get very many asteroids coming in, so it can be slow sometimes. As you can see, though, we're pretty much already full on fuel, almost full. We got these checks, which I've actually turned up to 20k. I can probably turn them down to... No, sorry, 10k. They're only on 10k. Yeah. I could turn them down to 5k, but I'm going to leave them on 10k, because then I can have a ship going from Aquilo all the way to Nalvis with a pit stop in Gleba, and I won't have to worry about it actually forcing it to stop at Gleba and refuel. I could just send it all the way from Aquila to Nalvis in one go, and it won't stop at Gleba, and if it's got 10k fuel, then it will make the trip, no worries. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So this is my personal one. I renamed the other one from Supply to Personal, and then I created another ship called Supply from scratch. So this is basically the identical ship. I've already started setting this guy up a little bit. We've got some supplies. I need to turn these on, so I'll start turning these on. It's sitting at Nalvis at the moment, so it'll start to push all of that stuff through, which is great. It's already actually got the iron and the steel from the asteroid collection. Hasn't quite backed up on copper yet, because it's just been sitting there collecting asteroids from random. It's never traveled anywhere, but iron and steel is backed up. Copper, not so much. Yeah. Whoa. I've gone around and done a little bit with the supplies on the various planets. So, Volcanus, I've got tungsten plate and tungsten carbide. Tungsten carbide we need for the speed modules. Tungsten plate we need for some miscellaneous things, mainly on Aquila. We're going to need these. Holmium plate and superconductors, we're going to need both of these on Aquila. Carbon fiber we already had. I did add agricultural towers. I'm not sure if I'm really going to need them, but whatever. I added the passive provider and requester chests and the bulk inserters to the planet supply belts, simply because I was going around to all these remote locations and I was going to say, oh, you know, I'd really like to set up a passive provider chest remotely without going there. And then there'd be no passive provider chests in storage. So I'll be like, okay, I'm just going to create an assembly machine to make them. But then when you create it, you need a passive provider chest to provide it. But you're creating a setup to create passive provider chest, but you need a passive provider chest for the setup to work. And it becomes this really annoying thing where you have to steal one off another setup and blah, 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 blah. So I just added it to this group. I just added this group because like the inserters, the passive and the requester chests and the assembly machines, when you got those four, you can basically make anything you want remotely using the materials that you get in the supply, in the raw supply. So added that sort of stuff. Added a few other things as well, which I already mentioned. Didn't really change much. I thought about making a completely separate base for the holmium plate in Fulgura, but in the end I just put a holmium plate, just put a thing there, and I put the prod modules back on this. It's backed up on this one, but so I figure I put the prod modules back in this, put a passive provider, and Bob's your uncle. I put a couple of passive providers on this one as well. This one is almost, it's like this chest is full, this chest is almost full. So we got tons of these electromagnetic plants, which is going to be very awesome because we're going to be using them everywhere. Speaking of the electromagnetic plants, I started doing tier 3 modules, and I'm doing them all in the electromagnetic plants because 50% productivity. Go away, rockets, you're way too noisy. Oh, by the way, I created a whole bunch more rockets. I can't remember if I told you about that. But yeah, so level 3 speed modules takes this little tungsten carbide, which we're pulling back from Volcanus. The level 3 prod modules I haven't actually unlocked yet. I'll talk about that in a second. And the energy efficiency module 3s take spoilage. I didn't even have to import spoilage because I have so much spoilage from these science packs going bad. It's incredible. I think I've got 31,000 spoilage in the logistics network just because so many of these science packs have just gone bad. So yeah, but I'm 63% through this stronger explosive. So once I get that, I will be able to two-shot the big asteroids with my yellow rockets, which is going to be awesome. Yeah, so what else have I been up to? A little bit of, I got rid of all of the, I got some biter egg handling, started messing around with biter egg handling. So let's talk about biter egg handling for a little second, because we will need it, but it is a little bit annoying. So I went over here, and you need one of these, capture bot rocket, which requires the bioflux. And the bioflux does spoil over time. So I was actually building this on Gleba, but I decided, nuts to that, I'm going to build it on Nowvis. I'm going to ship the bioflux over, because what happens is you shoot a bot rocket at one of these, and then it's got this little cyber biter spawner thing, and then you feed it bioflux and it gives you biter eggs. And biter eggs are going to be very necessary for a bunch of different things. But the thing is, if you don't feed it bioflux, eventually it degrades and then it just goes back to normal. Like I shot a rocket at all of these, and after like a couple of minutes, they just went back to normal. So you need to automate the launching of these bot rockets. And since I'm shipping bioflux over to Nowvis to feed these guys, I might as well just make the bot rockets over here because I've got everything else on hand on Nowvis. So I'm going to ship bioflux over. I haven't done it yet, but at some point soon I will probably do that. And then I'll set up a little setup. The thing that annoys me is these bot rockets. I probably want to make them close, but that means I have to get all of the processing units and the flying robot frames and all that sort of stuff. I have to move it all the way over here. What I might do is I might have a train that goes over here and it's got like limited slots for, you know, the processing unit and the steel plate and the flying robot frame. Because I don't want to stretch a belt over this distance and then have like a few thousand of these processing units just sitting on a belt where they can't be used to launch rockets. That would definitely suck. Oh, by the way, we have been working on productivity a little bit. This is at 70%. This is at 60%. I haven't been doing much with the rockets because agricultural science is still at a premium, but asteroid productivity, I've put it up to level 4, which is nice. Haven't done much with plastic though. But yeah, so we're going to get those biter eggs, and I have unlocked, actually I have, what am I talking about? I have actually unlocked productivity modules. I think I did it like a little while ago. So we can actually select this. Boom. But as you can see, it takes biter eggs. Only one, but we have yet to automate them. And we're going to have to start shipping Bioflux over, which is going to be painful. So I'm going to get a completely separate ship for the Bioflux, because I don't want to have the Nowvis supply ship getting anything that's going to be biodegradable, that's going to be spoiled. This ship is just for things that don't spoil, which is these buildings. So I'm going to get a separate ship for the spoiled stuff. Yeah. So that'll be pretty much it. I'll get a ship. And we've got so much of this stuff. Like, I've got a little passive provider. It's full. It eventually gets spoiled, but we're producing so much of it. I don't really care about chucking it a ship and sending it over. It's all good. So, we've also got, I want to show you this one as well, because I had this idea, and it is incredibly awesome. And it's currently stuck. Okay. We got to do a little bit more tweaking on this. But, okay, so I wanted another supply ship. And the problem is, this guy takes 10,000 space platforms to build. So 90% of the rockets that I sent up to build Aquilo supply were space, the space landfill. And I mean, it's 10,000 and you get 50 per. 10,000 divided by 50 is like 200 rockets. That's a huge amount of rockets. It's really, really huge. Now, I did the math. This takes 20 steel plate to produce. And you can launch 400 per rocket. So you can get 50 foundation per rocket, or you can get one rocket for 400. One rocket to send up 400 steel, and then you make it using the steel you set up, and you get 20. Because it's 400 divided by 20 is 20 foundation. So it's actually less efficient to send the steel up. So what I'm doing is I've got this tiny little setup, and it just sits there and it makes its own foundation over time. And it'll just keep making foundation forever. And it's got all this storage, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then this one has 60 slots, so that's 9, 10. So this will be able to hold about 11,000 foundation. And what I'll do is, actually, what I probably should do is I should probably a little bit, so that the storage is in the same place, because I don't want to be deleting these ones. Okay, what I can do is I'll wipe out everything that's not a cargo bay, paste this blueprint on top of it, and then once all the foundation's down, or I could even have I just paste this down, and then it'll just go nuts on the foundation. I'll have to delete these asteroid collectors, paste the blueprint down, it'll blow out foundation everywhere, and then I'll delete these cargo bays, and then I'll repaste it again, and everything will be beautiful. So, yeah. But let's go ahead and fix this. Okay, let's go ahead and fix this. How do we fix this? What's the most efficient way to fix this? I'm actually surprised it backed up on copper. I thought it would be backing up on iron, but okay. So first things first, we need that. Actually, let's make it a little bit neater. Oh, no, that's not right. Because it's a long-handed inserter, isn't it? There we go. So we'll want a long-handed inserter like this. And we put it down, but we put it down rotated so it doesn't do anything crazy at the moment. I think we'll just keep it simple. Yeah, let's keep it simple. So basically, if it has copper, if it has more than 5 copper and 0 iron, then we start chucking the copper away. And if it has more than 5 iron and 0 copper, then we start chucking the iron away. That seems good. So let me do the math here. Okay. All right. Here's a really easy way of doing this. Well, easy-ish. It makes my brain hurt a little bit, but okay. We take the iron and we take the copper. Where's my copper? And we subtract them. Iron minus copper. And then we say that is the result. Okay, we're gonna have to wait for this thing to get shipped up, but there's not much else going on, so that should be fine. So this is iron minus copper, and I actually want to see the values of what this puts back. Here it is, a little assembler. Okay, so you're outputting R, enable, disable, based on the value of R. That should be displaying what, oh, okay, read contents. Okay, so we got -8. Okay, so this guy, if you're less than -6, let's say, and this guy, if he's greater, if R is greater than 6. Actually, we'll make it 5. I'm not sure exactly how the stacking works. It's probably something to do with the inserter size. What's your inserter size? 4. We'll have a look at what the deal is. Okay, so 4 is enough. 8 is too much. Well, this one's going up to 12. Okay. Is it not quite right? Okay. All right. Hold up a sec. Okay. We need to do some faffery here. Okay. All right. Here's what we need to do. We need to read whether it's working or not. So we want to chuck it out. If we still want to use this, but we only want to use this if the machine isn't working. And if one of them is 0. Okay, this is starting to get complicated actually. This is a lot more complicated than I thought it was going to be. Okay. So let's go ahead and work it out. Let's go ahead and work it out. So, okay, you're stored at the moment, but you're stored on both of them. So, let's actually get rid of these solar panels. I feel like, how much power are we rocking at the moment? Power. Okay, we're using absolutely nothing. Maybe we could put some speed modules on some of these, because, yeah. We're definitely backed up on the thing. Okay, alright. Logic here. Okay, let's keep it simple. Okay. We throw away copper if there's 0 iron and the machine isn't working. Now that case is only valid if the input is backed up. If the input is empty, then we're going to be throwing away copper for no reason. Which I don't think the input is going to be... It's like anding 3 different conditions. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and start putting down some conditions. Okay. So we already got this one. Where's Mr. Power Pole? So, we got W, which is the condition. We're going to have... And this one is going to be iron ore is equal to 0. Output I for iron is empty. That seems a bit weird. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm still trying to think. Let's do it for the other one. Let's say, okay, copper, and we're going to hook these guys up. So let's have a look. So I and not W. So if I and not W, then this one goes. Let's give that a shot. We're gonna need a... Okay. Let's do something over here. So, working equals 0. Output not working. Okay. Yeah, we have to keep them all separate because we can't... I'd like to just say that this one spits out I and this one spits out I, and then you can just say if I equals to 2, blah. But we're sharing the N between the two things, which makes it very difficult. Okay, so here we go. So this is I plus N, and then let's map it. Is that going to screw? It's going to screw things over. Yeah, we've already got copper in there. Okay, we can't do that. I'm running out of. Oh, I'm not running out of letters, but I'm very annoyed. Like, okay, let's just do right arrow. Okay, output right arrow, and this is if right arrow equals 2. So in other words, okay. That's good. We're not reliant on the count anymore. The count, that count was a little bit janky. Anyway, okay, you are left arrow. Left arrow equals 2. Maybe we should make these filter inserters as well. I mean, if the logic is correct, then there should only be copper in the system. But I'm going to make them filter inserters anyway, just to be safe. So that's left arrow. We need another thing. Okay. So copper plus N equals left arrow. Okay. That works. So now these guys are both full. You're way full of copper. You're doing a decent job. I love this steel productivity. This is absolutely doing awesome stuff at the moment. I was wondering if I could squeeze these apart a little bit and get a beacon in there. What I can do is I might get a beacon up here. And just sort of, because it's really the iron that's the major problem here. The iron that's going slow. So we'll get a beacon. Oh, and we can actually put some speed 3s in it. That's going to be awesome. How's our power situation looking? Let's take that, move that around there so we can fit an extra solar panel. Yeah, we'll tweak this a little bit. We'll see if we can squeeze some more. I think I can squeeze a solar panel in there, actually. Very nice. Yeah, we'd probably squeeze one more in here. That's still good enough to get all the asteroids. Put you up by 1. Nah, it doesn't. Or actually, if I move this up by 1, I move these down, I can get in a bunch more solar panels. I'm not going to mess with this. This is a little bit finicky. Okay. Little bit finicky. Okay, how are you doing at the moment? We still need some speed. I'm just going to keep an eye on this for a sec because I really want to optimize this. In terms of what else I've done that I really need to update you on, not much. We're getting everything ready for Aquilo, basically. Like, for example, the power. This guy, holmium plate, lithium plate, ammonia. I'm pretty sure the second two I could just make from scratch on Aquilo, so we just need a ton of holmium plate, which I'm going to have a ship for. I think it's going to have its own ship, although having said that, the supply ships do now have holmium as one of their resources. Off Fulgura has 1,000, so maybe that'll be enough to. This is still paused. Technically, I could almost send it off, but we do not have a lot of that stuff. My base was, the throughput on my base was basically destroyed by building Aquilo supply. It was so many rockets to launch. So that's why I'm doing this. Once I get this perfected, I'm going to create like 5 or 6 of these little things. I'm just going to let them sit there for the next 10 hours. And then when I come back, it'll be like, hey, beautiful, is build a ship ready to go. So I'm very proud of myself. And as long as you don't have more than 2 rows filled up here full of garbage, you will be able to get 10,000 things in here. Okay, so I got the speed modules. This guy is working like crazy. That's good. The steel one is working like crazy as well. That should be speeding overall. How is this looking? It's looking pretty good. So this is still the delaying factor here. Do we go? How's our power looking? I feel like we can risk a few more of these. Risk a few more of these. Speed module 3s. How's our power looking now? Hasn't really changed that much, to be honest. 810. If we take these out, so that's an extra 300 kilowatts. Yeah. You'll notice I'm just using the basic furnaces here. I thought about using the actual furnaces, the actual foundries, but then I would need to get calcite out, and that was just too much of a pain in the ass. So, yeah. I mean, we don't have to worry too much about productivity because we've got plenty of asteroids coming in. It's all about just getting that speed up. Okay, so we've got those. Okay, now we're starting to run out of power. I feel like we're okay on power, but when the copper one starts to work as well. No, these ones are running full speed. Oh, it's this thing. This thing is using a whole bunch of power, I think. Okay, let's fix that up. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. And we can actually do that for these ones as well. Oh, we don't need 4 of them. 2 will be sufficient. Okay. That should even out our power requirements very nicely. Yeah, because I could make it bigger, but the thing is, how much foundation is this? This is 864. That's still a lot. So that's like 18 rockets to send up all that foundation, which is better than 200 rockets still. But I mean, yeah. So you send up 18 rockets, and then it kind of does the rest itself. And you got to remember well, actually, that means it's 900 already there. So you only need to store 9,000. So technically I could get rid of one of these and then put some more solar panels in. But we'll see. We'll see what the power looks like now. And this guy is going to be 1 megawatt. We got 1 megawatt free. So, okay, so it jumps up. Let's sort of watch it. Every now and then it jumps up to 1 megawatt. But we can definitely take that. There it went. Just went up to 1 megawatt. Actually jumped up a fair bit. Maybe one of these started going. It could have been one of these. These are, look at this, 36 kilowatts for this furnace. That's nothing. These are still almost a megawatt when they're actually running. So, okay. So there's probably this. There's probably the assembler and then this. When they both spin up, you still got enough power, but it's a bit close. So when they both spin up, it goes up to like, if we have a look at that's these little here. That's when both the assembler and the crusher. If these guys start turning on at the same time, then we will go over power. I'm not really worried. If we really wanted to, we can squeeze some assemblers in here in random places. And then we could basically just soften that blow a little bit in that, whenever that weird situation happens, the accumulators will take care of it. You can go there, and you can go like that. And then I can fit an accumulator here. And you, oh, I can't. I can move you there. I can move you there, and then we'll fit an accumulator there. So these are very, I could fit all sorts of things here. We're really going nuts on squeezing every single thing into this. And I mean, realistically, we don't need this many accumulators. This many accumulators is overboard, but it's going to, any hits we take, any weird hits, is definitely going to soak. At the price of uploading some underground belts, which we never had before, but it's all good. I will say, though, this looks like a pretty perfect system at this point. We have a look. Okay, let's have a look at this. Okay, there is a little bit of downtime. Tiny bit of downtime. We have a look. That one's got 14 iron in it. Now it's got 10 iron. Now it's got 6 iron. Now it's got 2 iron. Okay. A little bit of downtime. Tiny bit of downtime. I'm fine with that. I could probably circuit my way around that downtime, to be honest. We could actually say if it's less than 4 or something like that. That would actually be quite easy. If it's less than 4. But then we might start chucking away some copper that I don't want to chuck away. You know what, this small amount of downtime is fine. We'll just deal with it. Okay, so I think that's this guy pretty well up and running. And production, what are we producing? We're producing 2 space platform per minute. 3? Okay, since we've gone up, looks like about 3-ish. Now it's going to somewhere between 2 and 3 on average. It looks like it's going to be about 2.5 per minute. So if we need 10,000 to build our big ship, and we got 2.5 per minute, what's the calculation on that? 2.5. That's 4,000 minutes, which is 66 hours. Okay, that's not great. That's really not great. Having said that, it's free foundations, so I can't really complain too much. Yeah, it's free foundation, and we're saving ourselves a lot of rockets. So what I'll probably do is I'll probably set up a few of these, and then I'll just let them sit there. And eventually, I don't think we really need to replace all of these ships, but I mean, we can. And then the good thing about replacing all these ships is we can get rid of this BS. We won't need to worry about the foundation or the cargo bays or the solar panels being blocked. We won't need to grab the firearm magazines anymore. I probably don't need to now. I could probably turn this off, but the ammo I'm still a little bit worried about. So yeah, I think I would like to replace all of these ships with the big ones, and just for the sake of it. And then, I mean, how much storage does this thing have? You can't actually tell because I think it only shows there's storage at the bottom of the list of cargo. And this guy has, oh, this guy has way too much cargo as well. Let's go to, well, okay, let's go to AC personal. Storage, 1,200 for AC personal. ST personal, 450. So this one has over double the amount of space, and that's with an extreme amount of solar. So in the local area where we're not actually going out to Aquilo, we could get rid of pretty much all these solar panels, replace them with cargo bays, and then suddenly we're looking at like 2,000 storage, which is insane. Yeah. You know what? I think I'm gonna do it. I think I'm gonna move all of these guys over, all of the ships over, and then yeah, they could just, if we decide. Here's the thing, right? Fulgura supply. This ship right here that gets things from Fulgura, that gets everything from every different place for Fulgura. If we decide that we want to, say, build a fusion power plant on Fulgura, well, we wouldn't, but let's say we decide we want to build a fusion power plant on Volcanus. You can't just take this ship and say, all right, go to Aquila and pick up some power cells. You just can't. This ship would be destroyed. So we're going to have to replace this ship eventually. The science ships, we can probably ignore because they got enough space for like 10,000, 20,000 science packs or whatever. So we can probably ignore them. But all the supply ships will have to be replaced with the bigger ships. So I'm actually going to do that now. AC, Volcanus supply. AC stands for Assault Cruiser, by the way, in case I didn't. Lever supply, and then AC, Fulgura supply, and AC now V's supply. So yeah, so I'm just gonna create all of these, and then I'm gonna put my little farming setup on them, and I'm just gonna let them sit there. And yeah, Volcana supply. Where is? Let's go and make sure we've got the proper one. Boom, and delete that one. Delete that one because I confuse myself very easily. And I don't know what that is, but we can delete that one. And then we go over to Fulgora supply. Boom. We go over to Volcana supply. Boom. And we've got 2 more supplies to do. And then we'll just set them up and we'll just let them rip. One more thing I wanted to do. I wanted to talk a little bit more about quality because, yeah, we gotta mention a couple of other things about quality. We've mentioned the ship-related things, and I said for the Megabase there wasn't really much else that would be useful. And that's not entirely true. Where are we? Just sitting at it. Look, we've just stopped at Aquilo. There's big asteroids everywhere just floating around, and we're still just sitting here fine. So definitely, let's talk about the couple of other things that we need to worry about. Some big mining drills. I haven't talked about them before, but we need to sort of cover them in a little bit more detail. First of all, electric miners, resource drain 100%. I didn't actually know what this meant, but it means what it kind of says. Resources deplete more slowly at higher qualities. So what this means is every time it does a mine, it may not actually take a resource from the ground. It may just ignore that step. It sounds similar to production, but production is whenever it produces iron, it might produce some extra. This is actually not draining as much. And if we go over to the big mining drill, it's got a default of 50%. And as you can see, it goes up in a similar scale. Now, legendary is awesome. 8%, that's a factor of 5. So that means your resource patches will last 5 times as long. Even not counting the productivity bonus, your resource patches will last 5 times as long. And they will already last twice as long just using the basic big mining drill. Now the interesting thing is, that's legendary quality. So we're probably never going to get there. Uncommon and rare, I'm not too excited about them. Epic would be nice, because that's double again. Rare might be nice, but the thing is, legendary is where it's at. Legendary is the big mother. I don't think we're ever going to get these guys legendary. Because the thing about quality is, I should also, I think we already mentioned, there's a science pack drain for the big labs, the biolabs. That is not a quality thing. That would have been worth going legendary to get that science pack drain down. But yeah, not going to be in it. There's nothing else that I've really seen that really affects like the productivity. Well, this doesn't either, but yeah, the resource drain is almost, it's not quite the productivity, but it reduces the amount of time that, it reduces the amount that I'm going to have to redo mining outposts. And that's something that I actually care about. I really don't want to have to be creating mining outposts over and over again, especially when we do the Megabase. I don't want to have to go all the way to the edge of the map to get billions. I'd rather just stay nice and close, maybe get like a 50 million patch of iron and have it go for as long as possible. So this definitely makes me happy. So I might push for rare or epic or something like that. That's something I would actually care about quality for the Megabase. So maybe we'll do that at some point. These guys, that actually consumes more power. So it means it works faster, but it means it uses the fuel up faster. Where is our fuel? This guy. Fuel power cell. Do you not have any quality? It doesn't look like you have any quality. I thought maybe the fuel value would go up. Oh, this is the process to create it. Doesn't look like it has any quality. I guess, well, I mean, the quality, the only reason for these guys to have quality is for producing things. What is this guy? Oh, it's just... Anyway, so that is... We've talked about a couple of items that we might want quality for. These rocket turrets are not bad either. I think the rocket turrets... the range goes from 36 up to 54, which is not really necessary, but it's nice. These grabbers, these asteroid collectors, are insane quality. The quality improvements for those are insane. So these are a really good one to do. And the big mining drills. Those are probably the two main things that I would be tempted to actually do quality for. The rest, every other item in the game, I'm just like, meh. I wonder what robots benefit from. They get huge capacity bonuses. Minimum operator times, maximum flying reach. Okay. So this is interesting. This is like Bob's Angels ones where you get different versions of robots. You can actually... Okay, that's pretty good. If I was using a Megabase based off robotics, then I might consider doing that. Having said that, doesn't increase the speed, doesn't increase the carrying capacity. So it's not super incredibly awesome. It just means they can fly longer. So it reduces the energy cost of building a huge robot base, which is nice. But yeah, you'd have to build them in, yeah, not worth it. Definitely not worth it. Where am I? I'm on this ship, stuck out of Aquilo. Let's go back to Nalvis. So yeah, I've set up all of these guys right. You're good. You're getting good. You're good. You're good. Aquilo Science. How many? It's got just over 100 at this point, so it's going to take a while to do that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my update video. I've been doing a bunch of research. We really need to get strong. Well, we don't need to, but that'll make my rockets even more efficient. And then I've just got a bunch of miscellaneous research. The fact that I'm only producing 120 SPM for my base science packs is really starting to annoy me. I really want to start building the Megabase, but at the other side, my nuclear base my nuclear reactors are definitely tapping out, and you can see we're actually starting to turn on the steam power sometimes. Yeah, but it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. So I don't want to do like an interim extra bit of nuclear or solar or anything like that. And I'm pretty sure a 1K SPM base is not going to require pure solar power. I think based on what we looked at the power, the fusion reactor is going to be very light on UPS. Not as light as solar, obviously, because solar is zero sum. But yeah, there's very little, there's only fluids. And with the new fluid calculations, this is basically, I wouldn't say free, but it's very low cost on the UPS. Definitely lower than nuclear, because nuclear requires still the heat pipes, which have individual calculations per pipe. Like you look at each one of these and they've each got individual temperatures. So that's got to be still fairly UPS intensive compared to the pipes, where it's just one calculation for each entire segment of pipe. So yeah, so nuclear is still going to be more expensive than solar, obviously, and I think it's going to be more expensive than the fusion. I think the fusion is going to be very, very UPS efficient. Still not as good as solar, but it's going to be very good, to the point where we just use fusion reactors pretty much everywhere on all of our ships. Well, it's either going to be solar or fusion. So if it's a little dinky ship going between Volcanus and Nalvis, we'll just leave with solar. If it's going out to Aquila or out to the edge of the solar thing, then we'll stick some fusion on it. So all of our supply ships that'll potentially go out to Aquila will get some fusion on them. Yeah, and then we'll use fusion for pretty much every planet. I think, obviously, Fulgora, I don't think we'll need to, because it's got its own unique power system, and I don't think we really need to. With that, having said that, I mean, here's the thing, right? For a mega base, we're going to need a lot more power than this. This is not a huge base at the moment. And it's doing a decent amount, but we're going to need 5 times as much as this. And you look at how many accumulators we've got. It's insane, the amount of accumulators. So I think we actually will need to go fusion on this planet, because otherwise it's going to be like 4 islands full of accumulators for each actual island that does something. It's going to be nuts. So I think we're going to have to go fusion just so we don't have to go and build a million different accumulators. Having said that, I keep going back to quality. I don't want to, but I keep going back to it. Okay. 750. Energy capacity, 30. That's 6 times for legendary. Rare, which we could potentially get, 15. It's kind of nice. It could make things better, but it's better is not the same as sold. So I think we just go for fusion everywhere, and this accumulator malarkey will just go out the window. Gleba is running on dinky solar, so we definitely need to fix that. Volcanus also running on dinky solar. I don't think there's any better options for Volcanus to produce power. I expanded this as well with some big mining drills. And I put up a bunch of little alerts in random places. So if this one ever runs out, I'll get an alert. If this one ever runs out, I'll get an alert. I did the same thing for this base over on Fulgura. I'll get an alert if it runs out. So that's just a nice little thing, because this has gone down a few million since I started there. Gleba, obviously, there is no mining. It's all farming, so it's going to last forever. We never need to worry about this ever again. Yeah, and now this, I've had to set up a few more things. Like, I had to extend this coal deposit. I had to set up iron here. All of my is now done with the mining drills. You can see it's actually looking fairly sparse, but the mining drills spit out stacked ore. So this is all stacked on 4 at the moment. And yeah, that 4 iron definitely goes a long way. And in fact, with the copper, all these mining drills, I just squeeze them into 2 belts, and it's enough throughput. And then this one just squeezes into 1 belt, and this one squeezes into 1 belt, and it's more than enough throughput to get these trains filled up. So yeah, I'm fine. This is the last main mining base using the old mining drills. Every other base is using the old mining drills and falling apart, basically. This one's kind of still going okay, but yeah, they're kind of falling apart a little bit. But they're falling apart a lot less than they were a couple of hours ago when I fixed everything up. Okay, let's actually, you know what? I need to go to Gleba, because Gleba is annoying. I set up some more rocket things so that when a science ship comes over, it can get all 4,000 science packs in one go. Because actually, for the Gleba science, I had a special condition set up on it to say, basically it says all requests satisfied, or 120 seconds have passed and you've got at least some science. Because I didn't want it to sit there for like a long time waiting for all the science to pop up, because then the science just degrades and goes away. So I added this other little section. But the thing about Gleba is all of its rockets are being launched with things it gets out of the supply thing. Blue circuits, low density structures. It's not creating anything locally. So I do want to go over here, and there is a recipe to create at least rocket fuel locally. But I'll probably do that off camera, because this short little update video has been going for long enough. So I'm just trying to think of how I actually ghost cursor. How do we actually make rocket fuel? I'm pretty sure I can make it. Rocket fuel from jelly. Yeah, jelly, bioflux, and water. So that's dead simple. We can set one of these up in 5 minutes. And then that'll supplement the fact that we're currently launching rockets using rocket fuel that we take from the supply, which is not great, because it's just going back and forward. No, that's the wrong Gleba supply. This ship is just going back and forward. Look at it. Low density structures. taken from here. Now, as far as making low density structures and blue circuits on Gleba, I really haven't gone into it. I probably should at some point, because there is ways to do it. There's these iron bacteria and copper bacteria. See, basically you do this process to make iron bacteria, you do this process to make copper bacteria, and then you turn the... What do you do again? I could just go out and grab some iron bacteria, and then I just throw it into this system and create it. And then what is this used for? Used in... Oh, I see. When it spoils, it becomes iron ore. That's very interesting. It spoils and it becomes iron ore. So you actually want it to spoil on purpose. You will notice that I've got a lot of iron just sitting around. A lot of iron and a lot of copper just sitting around in my system. So yeah, that kind of means that you can't let all of it spoil, all of the iron bacteria, because if you let it all spoil, then you can't create any more. That's a very interesting sort of system. You almost want to start throwing away the iron ore when you get backed up. But yeah, so iron and copper. But then how do you get... So that's low density structures, you actually need plastic. How do you get plastic? Go away. Okay, you get plastic from Bioflux and Yumeko Mash. So you can make all of this stuff. Because once you get plastic and iron and copper, then you can make blue circuits. Sort of. Well, you need sulfur. How do we get biosulfur? Okay, so they got an answer for everything. So yeah, maybe we should make up this little setup to make all of those 3 different things in here. But yeah, I'm not sure exactly how we do that. It'll probably just be a case of if there's less than 2,000 iron bacteria in the system, then make some more. And yeah, and then we'll always maintain about 2,000 iron bacteria in the system. If it gets too low, we'll make more. If it gets too high, we'll stop making it, I guess. And then as it spoils over time, it'll generate iron ore, and then we can just use the iron ore whenever we want. Now, the only downside of that is if we fill up all our storages with iron ore. That would be annoying, but I mean, it'll be a case of getting the right ratios, because I reckon with the constant science that we're sending out, we'll probably use up all of the iron. I think if we start to get too much iron, worst case scenario, we take a recycler and build it down here, and then use that to get rid of all the iron ore. But okay, I'll think about doing. I'll definitely think about doing that. But for now, it's not a huge concern. I really just want to go over to Aquilo, and yeah, and get that base sorted. Get my logistics working for fusion power. Get fusion power up on Nowvis. Also, I just realized something else as well. Something very interesting. These stack inserters require jelly. Jelly has a 4-minute spoil time, so you have to make these on Gleba as well, and then ship them around. I still don't know how I'm going to use these for the Megabase, if I'm even going to use these. I suppose it would be nice, because you're basically quadrupling the belt capacity. So for our mining, our smelting lines, it'll probably be very useful. So I probably will have to build those and then start shipping them around. But I can build them pretty easily on this planet. Because here's the thing, like I said, jelly gets destroyed in like... Well, here's the thing. This has a rocket capacity of 50. What I could do is I could take the jelly nut... Yeah, so jelly has a rocket capacity of 2,000, spoil time of 4 minutes. The jelly, what's the rocket capacity of this stuff? Let's have a look. Rocket capacity of 1,000. That's pretty good. And that lasts for an hour. So 1,000, it lasts for an hour. And we need 10. And what's the ratio of that? 4. So it's equivalent to 200. So 1,000 of these gets us 4,000 jelly. So we transfer the jelly nut over via ship. And that would get us 4,000 jelly, which would get us 400 stack inserters. So one rocket would give us 400 stack inserters. Having said that, we would need 800 carbon fiber to do that, which is 2 rockets. So 3 rockets gives us 400 stack inserters, which is the equivalent of 8 rockets if we make them here. But then we got to deal with the bloody jelly processing and, you know, potentially having it spoil on us over the trip. But in terms of rocket efficiency, definitely, it's better to whatchamacallit, to send the jelly over and then build it on Nalvis. Yeah, so that's interesting, because then we'd be sending the bioflux over for the biter egg spawning, and we'd be sending the jelly nut over for the stack inserters. So there's 2 separate products that both spoil. I mean, that it takes ages to spoil. Like, was it an hour or something like that? I can't remember. An hour. It's an hour, and the bioflux is 2 hours. So yeah, I feel like anything that with that much time, like even the science packs are an hour. So yeah, 30 minutes I could ship over, but anything like the 5 to 10 minutes I wouldn't bother. But yeah, that's interesting. So jelly nut we may have to ship over back to Nalvis. Bioflux we're definitely going to have to ship over to get those inserters. Hopefully there's no more gotchas. I mean, these guys, yeah. The quality modules are the superconductors. And then, yeah, the spoilage. Technically, we would have to ship the spoilage over, except everything spoils eventually, so it's all good. I think that's pretty much it. And I think, yeah. So it's just going to be down to Aquilo. And I'm just going to push ahead and do it. It's a long weekend. I've got plenty of time. So I think I just need to get in there. I'm a little bit scared of Aquilo, to be perfectly honest. It worries me quite a bit. But having said that, we got our ship, we got our supply ship. How are you going at the moment? Low density structures and processing units. Surprisingly enough, there's not many of them, probably because the Gleba supply ship is churning through tons of them. I'm going to go around to all these different planets. Fulgora should be okay. I have a feeling that Volcanus is not making its own blue circuits, though, or low-density structures. Well, actually, Volcanus is making its own low-density structures. Yeah, but it's not making its own blue circuits, so I want to go ahead and fix that. I was meaning to fix it like 10 episodes ago, but I keep forgetting or I keep putting it off. So yeah, we're definitely going to fix that. And then I'll do it on Gleba. Fulgora should be fine. Should be fine. Yeah, I think we're making everything over here. So it should be good. All right, we're going to finish this off. I'm going to do some Gleba work. I'm going to do some Volcanus work. And then we're going to finally go over to Aquilo and land there and start setting up that base. And it's going to be oodles of fun. Speaking of Aquilo, how does this heating tower actually work? Where's my heating tower? Chemical fuels. What the hell is that? Oh, it just takes any fuel. Okay. That's all right. We could just drop down some rocket fuel or mine something like that. Anyway, we'll see how we go. All right. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you guys later.